Good afternoon. My name's Roger Wilson. I'm sorry you're going to have to get used to this accent. I'm from the other side of the pond, the UK. But I now live in North Carolina, so I'm learning to say Carolina and things like that. So I might be, I'll end up being American one way or another. Thank you for your time. Hopefully you're having a good lunch. A presentation from Mark David. I'm Roger Wilson. I'm the president of the company. Brief history, spent a long time in plumbing one way or another for different companies, but including Kohler, which obviously is our parent company. But I've also spent time in hospitality. I was the director, sales marketing director for Brinton's for 4 years, going back 10 years, dare I say. But came to Mark David a couple of years ago, as you know, acquired by Kohler in 2008, and has changed its kind of ownership quite significantly to be part of the Kohler organisation. I worked for Kohler in the UK, ran their operation in the UK, and they asked me to come over and live in North Carolina and run this business and take it into kind of a new direction. I got 3 of the members with me. I've got Mike Moore, who's the sales director. Mike, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I may know some of you, but I've been doing this longer than most of you have been alive. But I've been calling on Marriott since 1979. 13 years with American Martinsville back when they were a real company, 10 years with Shelby Williams back when they were the seating company in the world, and the last 7 or 8 years with a company called Flex Steel. So I've just recently joined the company about 3 months ago, and so I bring a long, deep background, but a great affinity for what you folks do here, and I think we can be a big part. Proper time, proper place, we can be a great part of what you're doing going forward. So just want to say hello, get a chance to wave the flag for ourselves, and then if you can help me, because I'm still trying to figure out who's who, how many folks are from design in this group? And then how many from purchasing? Would that be everybody else?
No.
Gotcha. Okay, that helps sort of give me where the tide is. So glad to be here, and we appreciate a chance to say hello and tell you about what we're doing.
Okay, so that's Mike. Marianne, I'm sure many people know you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marianne O'Neill, your local executive, hospitality executive, account executive. I'd like to thank you all for coming. I know that everyone is so busy, especially the purchasing and design groups. I know things are very busy, so we do appreciate you being here today. Roger has a very in-depth presentation for our capabilities. We are working on some current projects with you all, and we'll be reviewing that, and I hope everyone will find it informative. If anyone has any questions thereafter, we will also be available after the presentation occurs. Thank you very much.
Okay, and final member of the team is Lisa, who's our marketing manager.
So I'm Lisa Thornton. I've been with Mark David for almost a year, and I've enjoyed working there. Prior to Mark David, I worked for an agency and got a broad range of experience working on intimate apparel as well as furniture on the consumer side. And my most recent job was working at Krispy Kreme, doing a little bit of everything from social media to product development.
So you've got a connection to donuts now. Donuts. They're based in Winston-Salem in North Carolina, and that's where Lisa works. So, Krispy Kreme donuts, Lisa's the person. So. Okay, so I'm going to do the presentation. There's lots of pictures. I do want to make it interactive. It's absolutely fine at any point in time to throw your hand up and say, I don't agree, that's wrong, what do you mean, what the hell is that, how do you do that, whatever. So please do that. I'm sure you're not a shy audience in that regard. So I hope I'm not going to get in the way of people over there to see what's going on. I'll try and kind of come back here. So we've done the introductions. I'm going to show you 6 quick slides which are why you might want to use Mark David. What makes us different perhaps from the other people? There's no doubt about it, there's a lot of people in this market who sell furniture, but they're not all the same. We're talking about our Eco-Chic collection because the green and sustainability is important to us. It clearly is to you. We're on that list there for the same reason that you are. And then main part of this is to go through a whole set of recent projects and show you some of the things that we've been doing. They're all basically within the last 12 months or so they're all pretty fresh in terms of that kind of thing. So why would you use us in a fast-moving, reduced lead time, complex hospitality world? This industry only gets more nuts as far as I'm concerned because it just gets faster and demanding, and nothing has really changed, only to kind of make it more crazy. So we're here to kind of help you handle that kind of scenario. First of all, we're full range. So you can get seating, indoor and outdoor frames, you get upholstery, you get case goods, and you get vanities. Vanities is an obvious connection because we're part of Kohler, and therefore we'll link with our Kohler frames so we can ensure that we end up making. So if we're going to make a top, we've actually drilled the holes in the right place for the faucets, etc., etc. So, seating, upholstery, case goods, and vanities. I immediately moved to project management. Not necessarily to the quality of the furniture, the wood, all those things. It is about project management, it's about time, it's about solving problems. And as you'll see on this presentation, we are all about being creative, solving problems, because that's what happens in terms of fast projects that need resolution. We've got a system that we use internally that controls everything in terms of the deposit, the finishes, the hardware, the whole timing. We've created that. Kohler gave us that opportunity. So we have a very sophisticated internal system to control projects. We have a thing called watch the clock. Literally, we say, this project's going to deliver on time. We're going to need the finishes by this date. Stick it in the system. If it doesn't arrive by that date, it literally, when the project manager is looking at it, it's going to flash and say, this is now late, and how many days it is late. So we're constantly chasing all the elements of a project to make sure that we can deliver on time. And the final thing I'll talk about more later, we have a link, and you can get directly into this system. So you can see everything that's in the system, whether it's shop drawings, whether it's work in progress photographs, whether it's deposit issues, whether it's hardware requirements. You have a link and go into the system. There's nothing secretive about what we do. We're running a project with you, so you can have a look at it. I'll talk about that more in a minute, but that's about project management. We have an excellent 3D rendering service. If you take any one of our pieces that you might find in the catalogue, you redline it, you fax it, just email it to us, scan it. Well, it shows my age that it faxed it, but we can telex in a minute. Send it to us. If you send it to us by 4:30 in the afternoon, I will have a rendering for you the following morning. Try me out on that. Okay? Unless my Philippine operation is actually on holiday, that might be more tricky. But that's what happens. We've got an operation overseas, and we can do that kind of thing overnight. So we have some really high quality renderings, and I'd encourage you, if you want to just work with a piece, then by all means try it out on that. What market sector are we? We're 4 and 5 star. We're definitely that upscale luxury sector. We do public space, which is how the business started 20 years ago, but we also do guest rooms now. But we also do all those other places, whether it be outdoor, spa, conference tables, healthcare. We even do contract with residential. So what that means in terms of scale of project is we'll do small to large. So we've got an example here in the Middle East. We did a set of villas. It was just effectively 60 pieces, and they were all different. Now, it takes a little bit longer to do that kind of thing, but we will do that. The opposite of that is our last major project was the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas, which is a Marriott Autograph property. That's 3,500 rooms, and we supplied 34,000 pieces of furniture for that property. So we do the small to large. We like a blend, ideally, for customers. You know, not all small, not necessarily all large. But
one quick thing I'd just like to interrupt. Roger talking about our group in Cebu. What's really different about us is almost all of our folks are employees. One of the Kohler model benefits that we have is that we don't deal with agents. Everybody we have in the field is a Kohler or a Mark David employee. So when we ask them to do something, they're working 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, whatever it may be, for us. And most of the people we compete with are dealing with a whole host of agents. Nothing wrong with agents, but agents are only accountable certain times a day and certain hours a day. So if you've got a great agent, but he's got 5 clients, that reduces some of the time and effort to make something just right. So all our folks in Cebu are employees. What's great about that, if we get something done by 5, 6 o'clock at night, we've got that whole 24-hour period to get things back on somebody's desk the next morning. So if it's a pricing change, a red line change, a rendering change, same thing with our people that are sourcing and physically in the field. Those are employees. We're not dealing with agents. So again, it gives us a little bit more accountability, a little bit more responsibility, and it lets us deal with folks that have the same end game as we do. And then some of the facilities we'll talk about in a minute are actually owned by us. So we actually have our own facilities overseas as well.
Thanks, Mike. Fifth reason, quality. Again, at the end of the day, highly important that you get a product in your facility that you trust. We have our own, following on from Mike's theme, we have our own dedicated quality team wherever we're manufacturing. In Asia, we have generally European people in there. Won't dwell on that much more, but for us that's important to ensure that we get the quality that's required. And so everything that comes out of the factory is 100% inspected. If it's not right, it goes back through the system, so what comes out is correct. Sixth reason, we're here talking about Mark David, but our sister companies are Baker and Maguire, and you know that you purchase Baker and Maguire products. Obviously, they're high-end residential brands in a way, but they also can appeal to the hospitality market for some of the kind of higher end projects, suites, residential suites, those kind of things. And so Marianne is fully capable of talking to you about the Baker and the Maguire ranges and supplying those products too. And clearly we've got this kind of excellence. Most of the Baker product is made in North Carolina. So on that basis, we've got that expertise in-house, and if we're looking at new products and we're wanting to understand how we best make the product, we've got all this resource of Baker Maguire on hand. So those are basically, in summary, the 6 reasons. Just going to mention Kohler again briefly in terms of Mark David was acquired by Kohler in 2008. There's been a huge amount of change. It was clearly a privately owned business run by a kind of rather charismatic, autocratic kind of individual who got it to where now we're turning it into what I would call a kind of classic Kohler subsidiary that's got all the kind of normal operation of a large group and the disciplines, and again I'll talk about some of that in a minute. Kohler's a private business, over 5 billion. We're part of the Kohler's Interior Group with Baker Maguire, Anne Sachs, etc. And the group president of that is Rachel Kohler, and she's my boss. I work for Rachel Kohler. So now just a few things about what makes us different before I talk about some of the projects we've been working on. Creative partners, solution providers. In this marketplace, we think that's what we need. If 97% of it goes fine and it's straightforward, it's the 3% we all worry about. Something is going to be late, something, the spec has changed. They've done some dimensions and realised this is now, it's different, and therefore we need to actually modify the furniture because the alcove is actually in rooms X to Y, less than we thought it was. Those are the things that crop up every single day, and that's where we're happy to be involved and cooperative and solve that problem. Just in terms of our organisation, headquarters is in High Point, North Carolina, head office, all the US operations, logistics, and here we can do upholstery in North Carolina, and we also do some model room work. So if people want to actually say, make me a model in the US, I want to come and see it, and we can make that happen. Our main administrative centre is in Cebu in the Philippines. That's where we do those renderings, we do the shop drawings, we do project management, we have some finance, we have some marketing. So that's our biggest operation in the Philippines. That's been there 20 years. The guy who runs it's been there 20 years, so he's very competent in knowing what's required. And mainly our manufacturing is from Asia, either from our own plant in Indonesia or third-party plants in China. But there we have a Kohler organisation, dedicated employees, like Mike was saying, to manage the procurement, the quality control, and the manufacturing. In terms of the story on manufacturing, then I guess we know we're in a position where things are moving. I think there is more production coming back to the US. I'm sure that's what basically everybody would like. I don't have to move fabric, it's easier, shorter lead time, less freight, I can go see it, I can react quickly, all those kind of things. I think that's happening more in upholstery. We can certainly do upholstery here. I think on case goods, the issue is it's labour intensive, and there's still an issue in terms of really getting some of the cost that's required, and therefore this greater part of case goods is still coming from Asia than the US, but we can see that beginning to change. Sales team, don't want to go through all those names, but we've got a large team within the US. We also have a team globally. We are very much a global business. So anything that's required in terms of design is in one spot, procurement's in another, and the hotel's in another, we can really join those dots in making that happen. So we really do cover all the globe. These again, mostly are direct employees of Mark David. So again, on the ball in terms of anything that might be required to support. We've got Raymond out in Singapore for design purposes. We've got guys out in the Middle East to cover properties out there. So we actually do quite a significant number of international projects. They may be initiated in the US with designers and procurement companies in the US, but at the end of the day, we can cover it all together. So that's our global international team. Something that makes us different, and we have the book on the desk here, we have a 124-page manual which shows the standards of the way that we make products. If you ask us to make a drawer, it will be a 5-piece drawer, and it'll have undermount runners. That's our standard. If you tell us that's slightly more expensive, I need a 4-piece drawer because it's cheaper, and I need side-mounted runners, which actually achieve, then fine, we can do that. So we're totally custom, we make what you want, but we have our basic standards in the way that we make product. That's on our website, it's in this brochure here. Mary Ann's got more of those. We don't necessarily hand them out willy-nilly, but for you guys, they are available. But you can see exactly how we make products and the quality to which we make it. What we can do for you is actually present, if you then, this happens to be a project we did in Memphis, but these were the pieces that we were making, but then we actually showed alongside it, if this is the Ottoman, this is the construction we're going to make it, the foam density, the method by which it will be manufactured, and we relate these two things together, so you're really clear about what product is you're getting, but then internally how it's made. So we're happy to do that for you, if that's a confidence factor in terms of looking at individual products. This is the customer link I talked about. It's just like UPS or FedEx. You just click on that link, it opens straight into our system, and then basically you're able to see the whole of the project. And this is beginning to show, for example, a shop drawing for a particular piece. Things like you can really check the version control. So if you think you're on 3 and you think you might want to head on 4, you can check that situation. A glance of all the products, the shop drawings, the timeline, COM, deposit status, etc., is all available in this project. And the timeline is shown here. So deposit, shop drawings, pre-production samples, and again here, this would be the piece that starts flashing. Actually, we think it's going to fall behind and we're going to miss the ones on site day. But all this information is fully available to you. These are all the tabs that you can go into, finish at the top, COM, so on and so forth, you click into. And importantly, work in progress photographs. So when we start manufacturing the product, you want to be able to see where is it, and we ensure that we take pictures of not one item, but we take them of all the items that we're making, so we're not trying to kid you in terms of saying, yeah, we're well underway with manufacturing, let me show you one, and we will actually show you that, yeah, they're all being manufactured, which I know sometimes that's been an issue. In North Carolina, so we can do upholstery. This is our plant here. We can do upholstery there for in Asia or North Carolina. Model room case goods we can do in North Carolina. Volume case goods will still be Asia. And then rattan and other special requirements will be done in various places where it may be more suitable. Clearly we're in the Philippines. It's a very high quality location for rattan. So we actually have all rattan products made in the Philippines. And again, quality. Dedicated quality engineers in all these locations to ensure we get the right quality of product to you. A little bit about Portrush. This is our own plant in Sarang in Indonesia, 250,000 square feet, 250 employees. Do a whole range of products, whatever you might require, from sofas, desks, dressers, nightstands. This is the Milling Road collection. The plant was originally just making Baker product, the Milling Road. You know Baker, there's kind of good, better, best, and the Milling Road is, if you like, at the good level. This is made in Indonesia. So these are the kind of products that have been made there. Now we're making Marc David products at the same location. So, pretty important slide in terms of our goal and some of the real specifics that we try and achieve for you guys. We have strong technical front-end support. The minute that you have a project and you're starting to look at individual pieces, there clearly needs to be that discussion and dialogue about how we're going to make it. Are there any interesting issues about this? Any things we need to consider? Is this going to be in high human areas? Is there an issue in terms of KD aspects and elevator sites? Can we make KD? Are there some materials that you want to use here that are different? And it's absolutely clear to me that the sooner we can have that dialogue up front and get an understanding, because if you're kind of making assumptions that we are, and it can go way down the line, and everybody said, well, didn't you realise the way that this thing was going to flap down? We want a certain kind of hinge on it. Well, no. That's where we have these kind of dialogue, and we do spend, this is our director of ops in the US, a guy called Tyler Dimbeck, so we send him to a lot of meetings early on to go through the at a glance, talk through all these things, and it's just amazing how many things fall out to the table in terms of, okay, let's just talk about this, how is this going to be done? And then we resolve that early, so then as you go through the process, you're not picking that up later when potentially it's too late. So a strong technical front end, he's available to come and talk about projects. He scoots around all over the place. He was in Boston yesterday as an example. That is as a facility we offer, which we think is crucial to ensure that the product's delivered on time and it's what you expected. Drive the process of shop drawings. We all know most of the time will be lost at the front end of this process, and this is where we drive this really and work with you very closely to work on the process of shop drawings. We get them back quickly. Keep everybody informed of the project activity. Again, we have project managers in North Carolina, so there's a dedicated person, and you know some of the people that you deal with in terms of whether it's Lisa or Janie, and those are the people who are going to follow through, and if anything crops up that's functioning, they'll be talking to you and you'll be made aware of it. One of my phrases, I don't know, people may use it, but I think it's a great phrase. Bad news is good news if it's shared early. What I really mean by that is life is not perfect. Something is going to happen. And the sooner we end up sharing this with you, if there's any kind of issue in terms of, look, a near issue, or then let's talk about it soon, because then we can deal with it and then ensure that we actually deliver on time. And that, again, is something that is a real focus for us. Creative in generating solutions to project issues, those things that crop up, we normally find a way around it. It's amazing how quickly we can get a conference table from Indonesia to Alaska. We can make those kind of things happen. Plan ahead, move early to ensure timely delivery, and that's again why the project management takes place. And I get involved personally on all the major projects. I actually know what's going on. I go through the attic lands, I'm involved with the sales team of mine, and I sit in, we have a daily meeting, a morning meeting at our location at 10 o'clock in the morning, go through all the live projects, and I go to about half of those, so I am fully involved in what happens with the projects. And I think that's important in terms of, say, 97% doesn't need to worry about it, but when it becomes important, I can get involved and I can help solve issues. Just following up, and then warranty. Life is not perfect. Dimensions turn out to be different when you actually deliver the furniture. How are we going to deal with that? Again, that highly technical support staff is there. Tyler will go out to installations, he'll be there for installations, there for model rooms. Quick to react to warranty issues. When I arrived, it was taking too long to resolve these issues. Kohler is a great business of measuring things. So we actually measured how many issues we got, how long it was taking to resolve them, and we've really seen that come down. And I always just kind of update this. The average time right now to resolve issues is 27 days, and that's based on 12 cases we have right now that we're dealing in terms of warranty issues. We do about 300 projects a year, so we've got 12 items we're dealing with right now, and the average time to resolve right now is 27 days. Some of those are kind of longer because they're just where they are in the world, and some of those are, but other things we can resolve in 2 days and get things out of our factory, send them to site, and then we resolved and the problem gone away. I don't mean this sounds negative to do those things, but this is life, and I mean it really is about the fact that a lot of things go well and are okay. But it's these bits that have us anxious. These are the bits that take the time. These are the issues that can waste time. But we really want to be helpful to resolve issues, and that's what we do. And hopefully some of you will know that we've done that. You've seen us make that happen. Just a quick chat on the eco sheet. We're obviously part of MindClick. We're a founder member like you were. This is a range of specific chairs that we've been in terms of a green collection. Local woods, green fabric, shipping can be blanket wrapped, etc. There's some brochures on the table there. These were just some set designs we did, but we are custom, so we can do anything you require, but we'll just apply these same techniques in ensuring that we're producing sustainable products. Again, the indoor air quality issue, these address that. Allergy-free materials. So we had a consultant come in and advise us to work with this and help create these kind of products. So again, if you want sustainable products, we can produce them. We even have a solar farm on the front of the factory, so we actually generate all the electricity for our own plant. So again, that's our kind of dedication to show how we want to go to the fullest extent in terms of green products. Okay, so that's, if you like, the whole kind of Mark David piece. Let's just run through some projects now, and please do kind of shout up in terms of what is that, what material is that, how you do that. Some of them will have no idea, but I will. Some of them I hopefully do. They're all recent. The first one we're going to show you is the Refinery Hotel, which is in New York, on 6th of 38th. We have Stone Taylor, the designer, HPG Procurement. We did the guest rooms and public space. It opened about 2 months ago. it was in an old warehouse. They used to make bowler hats, is that right? Bowler hats in this. And what the designer did here was did a mix of some very kind of traditional type things. This is plank, it's actually like a warehouse cart with big wheels on it, but at the same time some fairly kind of modern upholstery in there. So a real kind of mix of products. So this is, if you like, up to the minute New York style in terms of what was created for this property. We did all the pieces in here, the bed head, this is a leather bed head with fabric and then leather straps on a metal frame. The upholstery, that's the cart looking coffee table, cocktail table. So just a few shots of this room. So again, this is kind of fairly modern nightstand, given some of the other kind of traditional type of products within there. But things like built-in lighting, etc., something that we ensure that we get right. It's a metal table with these kind of spider legs and a glass top. This is an recess where there's a mini bar, and they put that's actually a mirror. And what you're looking at is a reflection of that drawing done on the white wall opposite the mini bar. So that was a kind of neat thing to go and see that now. It's just something that's kind of different. That was a suite. We did the vanity with the stone and the metal work. This is some of the public space areas. So this is as you come out the elevator, you come to this. There's an old-fashioned telephone, some upholstered seats with nail heads. This is a piece they wanted for the lobby. It's a resin piece and then gold leaf. So just a kind of creative sort of gold block. I don't know why I didn't move my briefcase before I actually took that picture, but I didn't quite know that, so I threw it down there and I was so excited and took the picture, so my briefcase got the picture. Still in New York, Tuscany, St. Charles Group. This has quite a different feel to it. P&G with the government, kind of more modern in that regard. Very large headboards that we did KD. And actually they're so large they actually bolt these things through from both sides, so they're actually secured through the wall. They're that kind of sizable kind of pieces. Common trend now we're seeing is for lounge chairs to be a desk chair to be more like a lounge chair, more comfort rather than the actual kind of office type task chair, because I guess in that sense more electronics in the room, people taking iPads but wanting to be at the desk but wanting to be there longer and therefore that kind of seating. So this is just some of the pieces in this room, large wooden panelling, nail heads on the chair, on the bench. A little kind of alcove that they use as a kind of vanity area and put a small little kind of vanity upholstered chair in there, and then a lighted mirror that we did. Completely different again. This is now an Orient Express hotel in Santa Barbara in California above Los Angeles. It's a villa style property. There's about 90 individual villas and kind of single story with a kind of suite type environment. So bedroom into the suite. Very high end. You can see they've got individual kind of fireplaces in each of these. So again, we did upholstery beds, minibar units. This actually is the outdoor terrace, the view you get when you're in Santa Barbara. This actually is all Maguire furniture, so we had a Maguire order here for the outdoor furniture. Just on this one, they wanted hand-painted headboards. So we ended up creating a design using an artist in North Carolina, creating some options for them. They made a selection, and then we did the full layout, and then basically we did I think 70 of these specific hand-painted headboards, and then done in China with Chinese artists. Antique glass in a framed drawer front, marble top. So this is the nightstand. This actually is a shot while it was still installation. They don't really have a lamp in the middle of the room on a rug. It was actually while they were installing it, and I had to take a few shots. But we did this minibar unit with the carved front and these metal tables, and again had antique glass in them.
The nightstand.
Sorry?
The nightstand.
We did the nightstand. Yeah, I just got. I don't know if I've got this is a nightstand. So you can see just the.
Is it distressed wood?
Yeah, this is it. I'm pretty sure it's oak, and it was, I mean, slightly distressed. Again, this again, the design in terms of being very particular about what they required. So the whole process of providing, they didn't give us a control sample. We ended up providing some options to them, and they picked what they want. So then that's what they provided. Minibar unit, quite complex drawers, glass. I can't believe it. Now actually I'm so close. It's such a big screen. I keep seeing it's like Where's Wally? I keep seeing my. Some other pieces. This was for another nightstand. It sat underneath a glass table. But you see a real variety of products, a very complex products, lots of different products, not particularly high volume. Fairmont Chicago. We did the suites for Fairmont Chicago. We were pretty proud of this because when President Obama won his second term, this is where he actually stayed. So it was actually crashing out for all that kind of on our furniture. Then we did most of these. 150 pieces. 100 were all different. So again, it's a relatively kind of small but complex project. But everything from the beds, the sofas, desks, benches, nightstands. So again, a really kind of interesting product. This kind of secretary camera with glass fronted. So just give you an idea of the kind of pieces we're doing. This was millwork, so we didn't do this, but we were doing the upholstery pieces. We did this piece. This table, for example. Trump International, so we're now in Canada, Toronto, Trump Property, this opened last year. In terms of leather tufted headboards, nightstand, marble tops, and I think I've got a picture, I'll show you in a minute. The kind of hero piece in this property was, that's the nightstand. There's a silver leaf desk. You can see here, I think I'm going to have a better picture in a minute. They didn't want a dark desk, they wanted a pale desk. They did a silver leaf desk. We worked a lot on how we were going to get the finish to be as durable as possible. You can imagine a desk gets quite a bit of rough treatment one way or another with desk chairs and people. But we made that work. So this is the desk. It looks absolutely beautiful, and it really became rather a hero piece for the overall. Another thing to point out, these tables we did. We have an excellent supplier in China who does some really high quality metal work. So this again is it's actually polished stainless steel, but this beautiful fine lattice work is built into those tables. They're absolutely beautiful. So that's Trump. There's some public space pieces we did for the same property. Again, a bit more traditional in some of these items. The Cosmopolitan, I mentioned that already. That was our big project from 3 years ago, I guess. 3,500 rooms. It was just at the downturn. They were building them as condos. Realised there was no way they were going to sell them as condos given the downturn, so they turned them into guest rooms. So they're larger than the average room for a Vegas hotel room, and they've also got balconies. Normally you don't put balconies in Vegas high-rise because people either throw things off the balcony when they grow up or they throw themselves off the balcony. So it was very unusual. So there's some pretty kind of big wrought iron metalwork that tries to stop you doing that. We learned to tie the cushions down on the outdoor furniture because otherwise they were going to throw the things down into the pool. So this is the Cosmopolitan, very large headboard section here. Probably on that previous one, the nightstands, they got an inbuilt light, so the bottom of them was orange, and the light shines down into the base of the nightstand. These chairs, this dresser with the leather handles. We did the desk, the task chair. This desk was quite intricate. You can see here there's a pull-out section, there's a lot of sockets in it, etc. So quite a complex piece. Very large headboards, and then a mirror in the centre. That's the nightstand, integral light. this is an interesting piece of, in the double-double, a nightstand in the middle with a, this actually would feel like a gloss surface with a pattern underneath it, special material that we obtained for them to make that particular piece. Things in the middle of the room. And this is the outdoor furniture, so we provided all the outdoor furniture for all the balconies. So again, this is where we had to end up tying the cushions down because they were throwing them off. And you can see they've put this huge kind of, I think you still climb over if you really wanted to, I hope they really will. A vanity, that was Callisto was selected for that, because it happened from Cola, so that was the vanity in there. Yotel, I don't know if anybody's been to Yotel, back in New York again. We did this probably about a couple of years ago. This is the hotel that had 320 rooms, and they turned it into a hotel with 600 rooms. They reduced the size of the room. The way that they were able to achieve that is that they, when you go into the room, the bed is like a futon, like a sofa. So you can sit on it, and you've got a lot of space in front of it for the TV. When you're ready to go to bed, you press a button on this side, and then it comes down mechanically to make a flat bed and fills all that space. So you have about 2 foot, I think, at the bottom of the bed, so you couldn't really work around that too much even if you're, apart from when you're asleep. But we designed this bed for them, so they wanted this mechanical bed, they wanted 600. Clearly, and if you go on YouTube, there's plenty of people who've got their iPhone and can't resist but to see their other half kind of going up and down on this bed, lying on the bed. Or there's 2 people on the bed and it's going up and down. So we knew people would be lying on this bed and then pressing the button and making it go up and down and thinking it's, you know, a theme park or something. So we had to do a lot of testing, making sure it was really durable, and that proved to be worthwhile. So for 2.5 years, we've got 600 beds that go up and down every single day. Housekeeper will always leave it up, and I guess unless somebody's that drunk that they just can't be bothered to press the button and they crash out on the sofa, as it were, people will press the button and lie down and therefore we'll go to bed, and the following morning housekeeping will put it back up again. So these beds are doing this 600 beds every, and it's full occupancy. Interestingly enough, they were going to have a lower room rate because they put 600 in there, they just want to keep it full. But this hotel got so much kind of exposure as being a really kind of trendy kind of place that it actually, everybody wants to stay there, and the room rate's about $280 to $300 a night. I don't know, if you go there, it's kind of fun. There's a thing in a robot in the lobby where they put your suitcase in a kind of little kind of pigeonhole kind of system. You go up to the 4th floor and they call it mission control, and it's all kind of themed, I suppose. Right? There's a great outdoor terrace at this hotel. If you want to go to New York and hang out on the outdoor terrace and have a drink, Yotel is a great place to do it. So, so this is the room. Interestingly enough, they still gave quite a bit of space to the bathroom. So that's actually really quite spacious, but it is actually where the outside window is. So that's kind of interesting. So this is the bed in the upright position. As you can see, when you press the button, the thing comes down and will fill this floor space. There's a little train here. There's a galley. It's all based on this kind of mission control flight kind of thing, cabin in a boat or a plane. So you go to the end of the corridor and you can get coffee and all those kind of things from a little kitchen, and you bring it back on your tray because it's not full service. You can't. There's no room service. But you go to the end and see the galley at the end. So this was kind of like a nightstand, but it's really a desk. Everything's crunched together to be kind of in a limited space. So that's Yotel. There's some suites as well. I would definitely, if you get a chance, go and have a look at it. It's an interesting hotel. Couldn't be more extreme. South Carolina project. It's one we're actually just starting to supply the product for now. It's in Charleston in South Carolina. Much more traditional kind of furniture, mahogany, crystal handles, etc. This is their breakfast room, and we provided these chairs. Story on these chairs is they're a Baker derivative or a Baker interpretation. So what we do is, if you're seeing Baker products, you really like it, I love that, you look at the price and go, can't afford that. Come to Mark David, come to Marianne, and what we'll do is we will never copy a design for Baker. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. We're not going to copy our own sister company, but we will do an interpretation. So we'll make it probably simpler. We might take stretches off. We might change seat height, seat depth. For Baker, these are probably going to be hand sprung. We'll probably have a more hospitality type situation. No, I don't want to update my iTunes. So this is one. So you know, at 3 yards, you can hardly tell the difference between a Baker product and this one. This will be 20% of the price of the Baker product. And at the end of the day, it looks good. It's contractually, highly suitable. It's last 7 years, but it's a great looking chair. So again, if you see Baker or Maguire product and you want to have an interpretation, talk to Marianne and we can do that. Do those renderings and show you how it might look. Vanity in this property, mini bars again, crotched mahogany, marble tops. So. Very kind of traditional kind of look. Desk in this instance with leaves on it, leather insets. Again, these are Baker derivatives as well, or interpretations. Ugly looking shades, but I don't say that when I do that. Nightstand. I'm getting towards the end, just showing you some other interesting things we've done. Something in the UK. This is where they used dichroic glass. There's some samples at this end of the table. So it's a laminate. It's got the 3M dichroic film in it. So it's kind of like a hologram. As you move around, it will change colour. It tends to be kind of 2 colours. And what we're doing here is we're mounting LEDs underneath this TV, so it shines down. So as you move around, you get this really kind of interesting light feel. So we built them in here. We're building them underneath this iPad stand. Again, we're making more technical products to meet today's client requirement for this kind of thing. Just mounting this whole TV on a single pole so you can swing it around was an interesting technical design issue, but we've sold it, and we're just about to actually supply all the products to this. So this is actually in London. So again, this was a balloon version of this dichroic film, and this was a kind of pinky ready one. Just shagreen. We did a reception desk, and they want to build this shagreen into the reception desk itself. So selecting what was the correct color and texture was something again to help this client with. I'm not bored with Marriott projects. This one is probably our most recent. I'm just showing you this. It opened last month. It's the JW Marriott in Bangalore, and we supplied that all the guest room products in here. But that actually was millwork, but everything else actually was supplied by us, including the task chair, the benches, the nightstand. So that's just like our very latest Marriott project in India. Well, I went to India about 2-3 years ago, and we've done a significant project, some independent hotels, Sheraton, with Shangri-La, ITC, Taj. So a real developing market for us, but Marriott happens to be one of the ones that we started earlier. If we go back over the 20 years, you can't read it because there's just so many Marriotts where we've actually provided product in the past. But Kuwait, Las Vegas, Japan, Hawaii, Desert Spring, Dublin are some of the ones that we've picked out through the previous years. And that's it, folks. That's final one is another Orient Express. This is La Samana in the Caribbean, and they wanted this long mirror, and it's actually lighted around the edge. So again, a lot more products will be asked for LED lights to be built in into this kind of product. So that basically, I don't know how long that took.
Just a couple side notes while I'm thinking of it. Again, one of the things I think that really separates us from everybody else is that we really are who we say we are. You know, Kohler is a $5 or $6 billion company that's a U.S. company. And it doesn't make us better, but bigger makes you smarter. We have access to better toys, we have better infrastructure, we do a lot of really interesting things on the IT side, and it lets us give better information quicker and more accurately. And we think that's part of that project management story that makes us what we say we are. And again, you're dealing with an American company. A lot of the folks we compete with are basically 6 guys in a phone booth. And it's great when things go well. When things go well, everybody's a hero. But the first time something hiccups, or the first time something misses, it's like they don't know who you are. And a lot of those companies, good people, deal with great agents, but when it goes sour, that's where the rubber meets the road. And that's where we think we can add some value to the overall project, because you know you have some comfort that no matter what happens, we're not going away. You know, we're here, we're a U.S. company, we're going to make those things happen. And the other thing I think we do really well is mixed media. When you start mixing metal and steel, or marble and stone, or wood and laminates, when you start mixing those medias, it really does take a bit more expertise to make that happen. We've done a lot of really interesting things where we've mixed those media. So I think that's another place where we bring value. If it's a plain brown box, we know almost anybody can make that. But once you step above that, and you really start to address some of these 4- and 5-star opportunities, I think that's where we can really help make value come to the program. But again, the biggest thing is that we are part of a bigger organization. We've got the gravitas, we've got the wherewithal to do whatever needs to be done. we're here to make money like everybody else, but our driving force is the brand. Make sure what's done today lasts tomorrow, and everybody's proud about it many years down the road. And we're not so caught up in having to make every dollar on every order every day. So yes, we have to make money, but at the end of the day, we're also about making sure it's right, and it's right for everybody. So that's a win-win for the whole group. And again, back to having these employees in the field, we've got people with the same outlook, the same end goal, the same end game for us. So it helps us sort of bring that thing all the way through the process. So again, there's lots of choices out there. We'd just like to be one of them, and I think if we get that chance, you'll see some things that might make your life easier.
Thanks. Going to New York for my birthday. I want to check out the hotel.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming.
Meet Marianne.
Nice to meet you, I'm Carrie.
Thank you for coming.
I'm an intern for the summer.
Oh, good for you. That's a good place to intern.
Thank you.
Learn with the library, all sorts of stuff.
I'm not actually on full
Thank you for coming. Did you enjoy it? Yeah. Good.
Oh, yeah. Great. Yeah, I know Cheryl's working on it. Oh, okay.
The principal of that business would be happy.
Do you have a card?
Diane's card.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
Six.
You're not, don't worry about that.
I'm not even touched.
I know.
I know you got a quick hug from them and that was it.
No, I know. I just love What is it? Great, thanks, Karen. Thank you. Yes, thanks for coming to the presentation. Excuse me.
I know.
Sure.
Excuse me.
I gotta,
This is more as a
And then if you go on a
reference
website too,
with spec writing and how to write better specs.
So, okay, so you're writing specs.
I don't personally write them, I work with the, you should see some of the specs we get.
From outside.
Chair.
Love it.
Yeah, I mean,
But, yeah, we ask you not to release
I would never do that.
it's proprietary. So, yeah, I'll be happy to do that.
No, it's just for me and my team to use with writing better specs.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. I'm happy to
I
do
learned
that.
so much from this project.
All right. Okay. No. Okay. We've got a schedule in
what were you with?
I was with Janice, they say.
That's the ball.